First contact and cultural clash. The gleaming spires of New Terra Station pierce the inky blackness of space, a testament to humanity's relentless drive to explore the cosmos. Rotating slowly in geosynchronous orbit above Earth, the station served as humanity's primary hub for interstellar diplomacy and cultural exchange. It was here that Captain Zhou Chen found herself pacing nervously in the arrival lounge, awaiting the station's newest resident. Zhou ran a hand through her short, dark hair, her almond-shaped eyes scanning the docking bay. At 35, she was the youngest station captain in Earth's history, a position she'd earned through a combination of brilliant tactical thinking and unparalleled people skills. But today, those skills would be put to the test like never before. The airlock hissed open, and Zhou straightened her crisp blue uniform. A tall, willowy figure emerged, moving with an otherworldly grace that immediately marked her as non-human. The alien's skin shimmered with a faint, iridescent sheen, and her large, multifaceted eyes reflected the station's lights like living kaleidoscopes. "Welcome to New Terra Station," Zhou said, offering a warm smile. "I'm Captain Zhou Chen. You must be Salara." The alien tilted her head, antenna twitching slightly. When she spoke, her voice was melodious, with an almost musical quality. "Greetings, Captain Chen. I am indeed Salara of the Luminary. I appreciate your world's willingness to host me as part of our species' cultural exchange program." Zhou nodded, gesturing for Salara to follow her. As they walked through the station's bustling corridors, she couldn't help but notice the stark contrast between them. Where Zhou moved with the purposeful stride of a career military officer, Salara seemed to float, her movements fluid and ethereal. "I hope you'll find your stay here enlightening," Zhou said as they entered a turbolift. "We've prepared quarters for you, the diplomatic wing, and I'll be personally overseeing your orientation." Salara's antenna quivered. A gesture Zhou had been briefed might indicate curiosity or interest. "I am eager to learn about human customs and behaviors. Your species is quite intriguing to us." The turbolift doors opened, revealing a spacious, comfortably furnished apartment. Zhou led Salara inside, watching as the alien took in her new surroundings. "This will be your home for the duration of your stay," Zhou explained. "We've tried to accommodate what we know of luminary preferences, but please let me know if you need any adjustments." Salara moved to the large viewport, her multifaceted eyes reflecting the blue-green orb of Earth below. "Fascinating," she murmured. "Your world is so chaotic, so full of movement and change." Zhou joined her at the window. "That's one of the things we're most proud of," she said with a smile. "Life on Earth is always evolving, always pushing forward." The alien turned to her, head tilted in that curious way again. "And you, Captain, do you also constantly change?" The question caught Zhou off guard. "I suppose I do," she said after a moment's thought. "We all do, in our own ways. It's part of being human." Salara's antenna twitched rapidly. "Intriguing. The luminaries strive for consistency and order. Change is unsettling to us." As the day progressed, Zhou guided Salara through the station, introducing her to the various facilities and the diverse crew. The aliens' questions were constant, ranging from the mundane to the deeply philosophical. By the time evening approached, Zhou found herself both exhausted and exhilarated by the exchange. "Well, it's getting late," Zhou said as they finished dinner in the station's multicultural dining hall. "I should probably let you get some rest. Tomorrow's orientation will be quite intensive." Salara's large eyes blinked in rapid succession. "Rest? You mean to enter a state of inactivity?" Zhou nodded. "Yes, sleep. Humans generally require about 8 hours of sleep each day to function optimally." The alien's antenna stood straight up, quivering intensely. 8 hours of inactivity, every day. How terribly inefficient. Suppressing a chuckle, Zhou explained, "It's not just inactivity. Sleep is crucial for our mental and physical health. It's when our bodies repair themselves and our minds process the day's experiences." Salara still seemed perplexed. The luminari require only brief periods of meditation to recharge. The idea of lying dormant for such a long period is unsettling. As they walked back to the diplomatic wing, Zoe found herself yawning, her body's natural response to the long day catching up with her. Selara watched this with fascination. "That gesture," the alien said. "What does it signify?" "Oh, that's a yawn," Zoe explained. "It's an involuntary reaction when we're tired or sometimes when we're bored. It helps get more oxygen into our system." They reached Selara's quarters, and Zoe prepared to bid the alien goodnight. But as she turned to leave, Selara's voice stopped her. "Captain, if it's not too much trouble, might I observe your sleep ritual? For scientific purposes, of course. It seems like such a crucial part of human existence, and I'm curious to understand it better." Zoe hesitated. The request was unusual, to say the least. But then again, wasn't the whole point of this exchange to foster understanding between their species? "I suppose that would be all right," she said finally. "But I warn you, it might be pretty boring for you." Selara's whole body seemed to vibrate with excitement. "I assure you, Captain, I find nothing about your species boring." And so, feeling slightly self-conscious, Zoe led Selara to her own quarters. The captain's rooms were smaller than the diplomatic suite, but comfortably furnished, with personal touches that spoke of a life lived among the stars. Zoe went through her nightly routine, acutely aware of Selara's intense observation. She changed into comfortable sleepwear, brushed her teeth, and washed her face, explaining each step to the fascinated alien. Finally, Zoe settled into her bed, propping herself up on her pillows. "Before I sleep," she said, reaching for a small, well-worn book on her nightstand, "I like to read for a little while. It helps me relax and transition into sleep." Selara moved closer, her large eyes fixed on the book. "What is the purpose of this ritual? Is it a form of mental programming?" Zoe smiled. "Not exactly. It's more like a way to escape into another world for a while, to let go of the day's stress and engage my imagination." As Zoe began to read, she noticed Selara's antennae drooping slightly, mirroring the relaxed state that was overtaking the captain. After about 20 minutes, Zoe felt her eyelids growing heavy. She marked her place in the book and set it aside. "All right," she said, stifling another yawn. "Now it's time for actual sleep. I usually prefer darkness, but I can leave a small light on if you need it to observe." Selara shook her head. "Darkness is acceptable. The luminari have excellent night vision." Zoe nodded and turned off the lights. She settled down into her bed, pulling the covers up. "Good night, Selara," she murmured, already feeling sleep tugging at the edges of her consciousness. In the darkness, Selara's voice was soft and filled with wonder. "Good night, Captain, and thank you for sharing this ritual with me." As Zoe drifted off to sleep, she was vaguely aware of Selara's presence, a silent, watchful figure in the night. The alien's curiosity was palpable, a reminder of the vast differences between their species. Yet in that moment, as sleep claimed her, Zoe felt a strange sense of connection. Perhaps, she thought in her last moments of wakefulness, this exchange would bring their worlds closer than anyone had imagined. In the quiet of the captain's quarters, as Zoe's breathing deepened and her body relaxed into sleep, Selara stood motionless, her multifaceted eyes taking in every detail. The alien's mind raced with new information, trying to process this strange human ritual. As the hours passed, Selara remained vigilant, watching in silent fascination as Zoe cycled through the stages of human sleep. It was a night that would change both their lives, the beginning of a journey that would bridge the gap between two vastly different species and challenge everything they thought they knew about the universe and themselves. The Midnight Miracle. As the station's artificial night cycle deepened, Selara's fascination with Zoe's sleep ritual took an unexpected turn. The alien's antennae began to pulse with a soft, bioluminescent glow, responding to some unseen stimulus. Suddenly, Selara's multifaceted eyes widened in shock. "Captain Chen," she exclaimed, her melodious voice tinged with urgency. "You must wake up immediately." Zoe jolted awake, years of military training kicking in as she sat up, fully alert. What is it? What's wrong? Selara's entire body shimmered with an otherworldly light. Your sleep state. It's not just rest. You're connecting to the quantum fabric of the universe. What? Zoe blinked, trying to process the alien's words through her sleep-fogged mind. Your brainwaves during REM sleep, Selara explained, her words tumbling out in excitement. They're generating quantum entanglement patterns identical to those we've observed in the most remote corners of the galaxy. You're literally dreaming in quantum. Zoe swung her legs over the side of the bed, fully awake now. That's impossible. Human dreams are just our brains processing information, nothing more. Selara shook her head emphatically. No, Captain. What I've observed goes far beyond simple neural activity. Your consciousness is reaching out across space-time itself. The Luminari have been searching for this ability for millennia, and here you humans do it every night without even realizing it. As if on cue, the station's alert system blared to life. Red warning lights bathed the room in an eerie glow as the A's voice echoed through the speakers. Attention all personnel. Unknown anomaly detected in Sector 7. All hands to emergency stations. Zoe was already moving, pulling on her uniform with practiced speed. Selara, I need to get to the bridge. You should return to your quarters where it's safe. But the alien was practically vibrating with excitement. Captain, please. I believe these events are connected. Allow me to accompany you. My expertise could be crucial. Hesitating for only a moment, Zoe nodded. All right, but stay close and follow my orders. They raced through the corridors, joining the flow of crew members responding to the emergency. As they entered the bridge, chaos greeted them. Holographic displays flickered with distorted images, and the main viewport showed a swirling vortex of energy where empty space should have been. Report. Zoe barked, sliding into the captain's chair. Her first officer, Commander Raj Patel, turned from his console, his dark features etched with concern. Captain, we're detecting massive quantum fluctuations in Sector 7. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. The fabric of space-time itself seems to be unraveling. Selara stepped forward, her bioluminescence pulsing in time with the swirling anomaly. It's a quantum fissure, she said, her voice filled with awe. A tear in the universe itself, but it's responding to something, almost as if it's alive. Zoe's mind raced. Can we close it? The station's structural integrity won't hold if that thing keeps growing. Conventional methods won't work, Raj said, shaking his head. Our quantum field generators aren't powerful enough to contain it. A wild idea struck Zoe. Selara, you said human dreams connect to the quantum fabric of the universe. Could we use that somehow? The alien's antennae quivered with excitement. Yes, if we could amplify your brainwaves during REM sleep, we might be able to communicate with the anomaly, maybe even control it. But I can't just fall asleep on command, Zoe protested, especially not in the middle of a crisis. Selara placed a slender hand on Zoe's arm. The Luminari have techniques for inducing meditative states similar to your REM sleep. With your permission, I could guide you into a controlled dream state. Zoe looked around the bridge, at her crew working frantically to save the station, at the swirling vortex threatening to tear them apart. She took a deep breath. Do it. What followed was unlike anything Zoe had ever experienced. As Selara's melodious voice guided her into a trance-like state, Zoe felt her consciousness expand. The bridge faded away, replaced by an infinite cosmos of swirling energies and impossible geometries. In this quantum dreamscape, Zoe could sense the anomaly. It wasn't just a tear in space-time, it was a sentient entity, ancient beyond comprehension. Slowly, carefully, she reached out with her mind. We mean you no harm. Zoe projected her thoughts into the quantum void. Please, tell us why you're here. The response came not in words, but in a flood of images and emotions. Loneliness, curiosity, a desperate search for connection in an uncaring universe. The entity had been drawn to the dreams of the station's inhabitants, a beacon of consciousness in the vast emptiness of space. Understanding dawned on Zoe. This wasn't an attack or a natural disaster. It was a cry for help from a being so fundamentally different from anything humanity had encountered before. With gentle thoughts, Zoe conveyed acceptance and offered friendship. She showed the entity images of Earth, of the diverse species living in harmony on New Terra Station. She extended an invitation to communicate, to learn, to grow together. Slowly, the chaotic energies of the anomaly began to stabilize. The swirling vortex coalesced into a shimmering, opalescent sphere that pulsed with an inner light. As Zoe's consciousness returned to her body, she opened her eyes to find the bridge crew staring at her in awe. On the main viewport, the sphere hovered serenely in space, no longer a threat but a new frontier of discovery. "Captain," Raj said, his voice filled with wonder, "what just happened?" Zoe stood, her legs slightly shaky, and smiled. "First contact, Commander. Of a kind we never imagined possible." She turned to Selara, whose bioluminescence now pulsed in perfect synchronization with the sphere. "And we couldn't have done it without our luminary friend here." Selara's multifaceted eyes shimmered with emotion. "Captain, I came here to study humans, but you show me something beyond my wildest dreams. Your nightly ritual, this simple act of sleeping and dreaming, it's not just rest. It's a superpower that could revolutionize our understanding of the universe." As the crew erupted in cheers and the station's AA announced the end of the emergency, Zoe felt a profound sense of awe. The simple act of sleeping, something she'd done every night of her life without a second thought, had just opened up a new chapter in the history of the galaxy. "Well, Zelara," Zoe said with a grin, "I guess humans aren't as inefficient as you thought. Now, who's up for some breakfast? Saving the universe always makes me hungry." The bridge erupted in laughter, the tension of the night giving way to a new dawn of interspecies cooperation and cosmic discovery. As Zoe looked out at the shimmering sphere, she couldn't help but wonder what other miracles might be hiding in the simple rituals of everyday life, waiting for the right moment to change the universe forever. Quantum lullabies and cosmic revelations. The days following the quantum anomaly incident were a whirlwind of activity aboard New Terra Station. News of humanity's unexpected ability to dream in quantum had spread like wildfire, attracting the attention of scientists, diplomats, and curiosity seekers from across the galaxy. Captain Zoe Chen found herself at the center of a cosmic storm, juggling her duties as station commander with her newfound role as humanity's premier dream ambassador. As Zoe entered the newly christened Quantum Dream Lab, she couldn't help but marvel at how quickly things had changed. The lab, once a mundane storage area, now hummed with an array of exotic equipment. At its center stood a gleaming pod that looked like a cross between a sensory deprivation chamber and a disco ball. "Ah, Captain, just in time for today's experiment," called Dr. Elara Voss, the station's lead xenoneurologist. The doctor's wild mane of silver hair seemed to crackle with its own energy as she made adjustments to the pod's controls. Selara glided over, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with excitement. "We've made significant progress in mapping the quantum resonance patterns of your dream states, Captain. Today, we hope to establish a more robust connection with the entity you encountered." Zoe nodded, trying to hide her nervousness. "And you're sure this is safe? I'd rather not have my consciousness scattered across the universe." Dr. Voss chuckled. "As safe as pioneering a completely new field of science can be. We've incorporated luminary meditation techniques and the latest in human neurotechnology. It's perfectly safe, probably." "That's reassuring," Zoe muttered, but she climbed into the pod nonetheless. As the hatch sealed with a soft hiss, she heard Selara's melodious voice guiding her into the now familiar trance state. The universe exploded behind Zoe's closed eyelids, a kaleidoscope of impossible colors and fractal patterns. She felt her consciousness expand, reaching out across the quantum foam of reality. And there, shimmering like a soap bubble in the cosmic wind, was the entity they had come to call the Dream Weaver. "Hello, old friend," Zoe projected her thoughts into the void. The response was immediate, a flood of images and emotions that threatened to overwhelm her. But this time, Zoe was prepared. She let the information wash over her, sorting through the cosmic data dump with newfound skill. What she discovered left her awestruck. The Dreamweaver wasn't just a singular entity, it was a collective consciousness, a network of quantum-entangled minds spanning galaxies, and humanity's dreams had been unconsciously tapping into this network for millennia. As Zoe delved deeper, guided by the Dreamweaver's gentle prompts, she began to understand the true potential of this connection. Faster-than-light communication, instantaneous travel across vast distances, even the ability to reshape reality itself, all of it was possible through the quantum dream network. But with this knowledge came a chilling revelation. The Dreamweaver showed Zoe visions of a looming threat, a race of beings that existed in the spaces between realities, feeding on the energy of conscious thought. These void devourers, as Zoe's mind labeled them, had been slowly encroaching on our universe, drawn by the beacon of humanity's dreaming minds. With a gasp, Zoe's eyes flew open. The pod's hatch retracted, and she stumbled out, her mind reeling from the cosmic download. "Captain, are you all right?" Selara's concerned face swam into view. Zoe nodded, trying to catch her breath. "We need to call an emergency meeting. Now, the fate of the entire universe might depend on it." Hours later, in the station's main conference room, Zoe stood before a diverse assembly of human officials, alien diplomats, and scientific minds from a dozen worlds. The atmosphere was tense as she recounted her vision. "So, let me get this straight," Admiral Zeo, Earth's top military commander, leaned forward with a scowl. "You're saying that our dreams are part of some galactic internet, and now we've attracted the attention of interdimensional thought-eaters." Zoe nodded grimly. "I know it sounds incredible, Admiral, but the evidence is mounting. The recent surge in unexplained phenomena across the galaxy, temporal anomalies, spontaneous wormholes, even reports of altered realities, they're all connected to the Void Devourer's encroachment." Selara stepped forward, her bioluminescence pulsing urgently. "The Luminari have long suspected the existence of such a threat, but we lacked the means to perceive it directly. Humanity's unique dreaming ability may be our only hope of mounting a defense." The room erupted into chaos as officials argued and scientists debated. Zoe raised her hand for silence. "I know this is a lot to take in, but we don't have the luxury of disbelief. The Dreamweaver has shown me a way to fight back, but it will require a level of cooperation unprecedented in galactic history." She took a deep breath, knowing her next words would change the course of human history forever. "We need to create a quantum dream army, a force of trained dreamers who can navigate the quantum realm and push back against the void devourers. It won't be easy, and it will require us to reevaluate everything we thought we knew about consciousness and reality itself." The silence that followed was deafening. Then, slowly, an Arcturian ambassador rose, his crystalline form shimmering. "The Arcturian conclave pledges its full support to this endeavor. Our species may not dream as humans do, but we will offer all our resources to this fight." One by one, other representatives stood, pledging their support. Even Admiral Zeo, his earlier skepticism replaced by grim determination, nodded his assent. As the meeting adjourned, Zoe felt the weight of the universe on her shoulders. She turned to find Selara watching her, the alien's multifaceted eyes filled with a mixture of awe and concern. "You've set in motion events that will reshape the cosmos, Captain," Selara said softly. "Are you prepared for what comes next?" Zoe managed a wry smile. "Ready or not, the universe isn't giving us much choice. But if we can turn a good night's sleep into a weapon against cosmic horror, I'd say humanity's got a fighting chance." As they walked together towards the Quantum Dream Lab, Zoe couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. "You know, when I was a kid, my mom used to tell me that sweet dreams could change the world. I never imagined she meant it literally. Selara's antenna twitched in what Zoe had come to recognize as the alien equivalent of a smile. Perhaps, Captain, the greatest weapons in the universe have always been the stories we tell ourselves when we close our eyes. As the doors of the lab slid open, revealing a new batch of recruits ready to begin their training as quantum dream warriors, Zoe squared her shoulders. The greatest adventure in human history was about to begin, and it would start with the simple act of falling asleep. Little did they know, somewhere in the vast expanse of the cosmos, the void devourers stirred, sensing the awakening of a new force in the universe. The stage was set for a battle that would be fought not with starships and energy weapons, but in the infinite realms of the dreaming mind. Dreamscape Defenders and the Void's Gambit. The Quantum Dream Army's training facility aboard New Terra Station buzzed with an energy unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. In what was once the station's hydroponics bay, rows of sleek, egg-shaped pods pulsed with soft, ethereal light. Inside each, a volunteer dreamer floated in a specialized liquid, their minds connected to the vast quantum network that spanned the cosmos. Captain Zoe Chen stood at the center of it all, her eyes closed in concentration as she projected her consciousness into the shared dreamscape. Around her, the minds of a dozen species swirled in a kaleidoscope of thought and emotion. Remember, Zoe's voice echoed through the quantum realm. In here, imagination is your weapon. Your will shapes reality. The void devourers feed on fear and doubt. Counter them with hope, creativity, and the unbreakable bonds between us. As if summoned by her words, a writhing mass of darkness appeared on the horizon of their shared mindscape. The void devourers had arrived, drawn by the beacon of concentrated consciousness. Dreamweavers, to your positions, Zoe commanded, her dream self blazing with inner light. Operation Lucid Shield begins now. What followed was a battle unlike any ever fought in the history of the universe. The dreamers, their minds amplified by the quantum network, unleashed a barrage of pure imagination against the encroaching darkness. An Arcturian crystalline being dreamed up a lattice of pure light, each facet reflecting the hopes and dreams of 1,000 worlds. It sliced through the void entities like a diamond through smoke. A Zorblaxian gas giant, its consciousness, spread across multiple bodies, imagined a cosmic storm of inspiration. Ideas, art, and music from across the galaxy swirled into a tempest that battered the void devourers, forcing them back. Zelora, her bioluminescence pulsing in time with the quantum fluctuations, wove a tapestry of shared memories. The history of 100 civilizations flashed across the dreamscape, each triumph over adversity a burning brand against the darkness. And at the center of it all stood Zoe, her human ability to dream supercharged by the quantum network. She became a nexus of possibility, each thought spawning new realities that crashed against the void like waves upon a shore. For a moment, it seemed as though the tide had turned. The void devourers reeled, overwhelmed by the onslaught of pure creation. But then, something changed. The darkness coalesced, taking on a form that sent shivers through the collective consciousness of the dreamers. It was Earth, or rather, a twisted, nightmarish version of it. Familiar landmarks were warped and broken, oceans boiled, and the sky burned with an unholy fire. And echoing across the dreamscape came a voice, Zoe's voice, but filled with malice and despair. "This is your future," the void Zoe sneered. "This is what becomes of your precious world when the dreaming stops, when hope dies, when the last light flickers out." Zoe felt the resolve of her fellow dreamers waver. The void devourers were using their own fears against them, turning their greatest strength into a weapon of psychological warfare. "Don't listen," Zoe shouted, her voice carrying across the quantum network. "This isn't real. This isn't inevitable. We have the power to shape our own future." But doubt had taken root. The dreamscape began to fracture as individual minds retreated, overwhelmed by the vision of impending doom. In that moment of crisis, Zoe made a decision that would alter the course of the war. Instead of fighting against the nightmarish vision, she dove into it. Her consciousness plunged into the burning skies and boiling oceans of the ruined Earth. If this is our future, her thoughts echoed across the dreamscape, then let's face it together. Let's see it, understand it, and then change it. One by one, the other dreamers followed her lead. They immersed themselves in the nightmare, experiencing every horrifying detail. They felt the heat of the burning atmosphere, heard the cries of a dying world, tasted ash and despair on the wind. But as they explored this dark potential future, something unexpected happened. They began to see the flaws in its construction, the seams where reality had been twisted by fear and manipulation. "It's not real," whispered an Andromedian empath, her feathered antennae quivering. "It's just a possibility, not a certainty." "We can change this," rumbled a Jovian gas mind, its thoughts spreading like ripples through the collective consciousness. Zoe felt the tide turning once again. That's it. This nightmare only has power if we believe in it. Together, we can rewrite this future. As one, the dreamers began to reshape the ruined Earth. Burning skies cooled and cleared. Boiling oceans calmed and teemed with life once more. Broken landscapes healed, and where there was desolation, new growth emerged. The Void Zone screamed in frustration as its carefully constructed nightmare dissolved around it. The dark doppelganger twisted and writhed, its form losing coherence as the dreamers asserted their collective will. Zoe stepped forward, facing her shadow self. "You have no power here," she declared, her voice ringing with the authority of 100 dreaming minds. "This is our realm, our future, and we choose hope." With a final defiant shriek, the Void Zone and the army of devourers behind it shattered like glass. The dreamscape erupted in an explosion of light and color as the combined imagination of the dreamers reasserted itself. As the echo of their victory reverberated through the quantum network, Zoe felt a presence unlike any other. The Dreamweaver, the vast cosmic consciousness they had first encountered, unfurled its awareness across the mindscape. "Well done, young ones," its thoughts whispered like starlight. "You have taken the first step on a journey that will reshape the cosmos. The Void Devourers will return, but you have proven that unity, creativity, and hope are weapons they cannot overcome." With a gasp, Zoe's eyes flew open. She found herself back in the training facility, surrounded by her fellow dreamers as they emerged from their pods. Faces of a dozen species showed the same mix of exhaustion and exhilaration that she felt. Salara glided over, her bioluminescence pulsing with excitement. "Captain, what you did in there, it was unprecedented. You turned the enemy's weapon against them and forged a stronger unity than we've ever achieved." Zoe managed a tired smile. "We did it together, Xalara. Every one of us." She looked around at the assembled dreamers, beings from across the galaxy united in a cause that transcended individual worlds or species. This was just the beginning. The real war for the future of the cosmos starts now. As the dreamers dispersed, buzzing with excitement and new ideas, Zoe couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. "You know," she said to Salara, "when I joined the space program, I thought the strangest thing I'd encounter would be alien cuisine. Now here I am, leading an army of cosmic lucid dreamers against interdimensional thought eaters." Salara's antennae twitched in what Zoe had come to recognize as amusement. The universe, it seems, has a sense of humor all its own. "Though I must admit, Captain, I'm curious to see what human cuisine you'll dream up to celebrate our victory." As they walked towards the station's mess hall, already planning the next phase of their defense against the Void, neither Zoe nor Salara noticed the small, shadowy tendril that briefly flickered in the corner of the room before vanishing. The battle was won, but the war for the dreaming mind of the cosmos had only just begun. The Memetic Inception Protocol. As the Quantum Dream Army celebrated their first major victory against the Void Devourers, Captain Zoe Chen found herself facing an unexpected challenge. The vidscreens throughout New Terra Station flickered to life, broadcasting an emergency message from Earth's Central Command. Captain Chen, Admiral Zaya's holographic form materialized in the station's war room, his face grim. We have a situation. News of the dream battle has leaked, and it's gone viral in the worst possible way. Zoe's heart sank. How bad is it, Admiral? See for yourself. The Admiral's image was replaced by a montage of social media posts, memes, and viral videos. Millions of humans across Earth and its colonies were attempting amateur dream battles, recording their experiences, and sharing them online with hashtags like #VoidChallenge and #DreamWarrior. Oh no, Zoe groaned, watching a group of teenagers in AR goggles pretend to fight imaginary void devourers in their backyard. They have no idea how dangerous this is. Laura, who had been observing silently, spoke up. This could be catastrophic. Untrained minds, reaching into the quantum dreamscape, could attract the attention of real void devourers. We could be facing a full-scale invasion. Zoe's mind raced. They needed a way to contain this, to redirect all that human enthusiasm and creativity before it tore a hole in the fabric of reality. Suddenly, an idea struck her, one so outrageous it just might work. Admiral, Zoe said, a glint in her eye, what if we fight fire with fire? Or in this case, memes with memes? Over the next 48 hours, Zoe and her team worked tirelessly on what they called the memetic inception protocol. They reached out to Earth's top memesmiths, social media influencers, and AR game developers, bringing them into a classified briefing on the true nature of the void threat. The result was a global AR game called Dream Defenders, Quantum Quarantine. Players could use their phones or AR glasses to see a stylized version of the quantum dreamscape overlaid on the real world. By completing challenges and working together in massive multiplayer events, they could help quarantine areas of the dreamscape and push back simulated void entities. But here was the genius part. Unbeknownst to the players, the combined mental focus and creativity were being channeled through New Terra Station's quantum network. Each gameplay session subtly trained their minds to create stronger mental barriers against real void incursions. The game spread like wildfire. Within days, Dream Defenders had become the most downloaded app in human history. Streets and parks were filled with people of all ages, laughing and shouting as they worked together to defend their neighborhoods from imaginary cosmic horrors. Zoe watched the real-time data pour in, a mix of game statistics and quantum energy readings. It's working, she breathed, hardly daring to believe it. The collective mental energy is actually stabilizing the quantum dreamscape. Laura's bioluminescence pulsed with excitement. Remarkable. You've turned a potential catastrophe into a powerful defense mechanism. The Luminari would never have conceived of such a chaotic solution. But their celebration was short-lived. Alarms blared throughout the station as the main view screen lit up with a terrifying sight. A massive, swirling vortex of darkness had appeared in Earth's orbit, easily visible from the planet's surface. Void Lords, Laura whispered, her antennae quivering in fear. They've noticed our efforts and sent their strongest forces to stop us. Zoe's mind raced. The Quantum Dream Army wasn't ready for a confrontation of this scale, but as she watched the real-time feeds from Earth, showing millions of people still enthusiastically playing Dream Defenders, an audacious plan formed. We need to take this game to the next level, Zoe declared. Laura, can we use the station's quantum network to temporarily link the minds of every active player on Earth? The alien's multifaceted eyes widened. Theoretically, yes, but the strain on their untrained minds could be. We don't have a choice, Zoe cut in. It's this or watch Earth fall to the void. What followed was the largest collective lucid dreaming event in human history. As the Void Lords descended, their tendrils of darkness reaching for the planet, Zoe broadcast an emergency message to every Dream Defenders player. Attention, Dream Defenders, this is not a drill. The fate of Earth depends on you. Close your eyes, focus on the game, and dream bigger than you've ever dreamed before. Millions of minds synchronized, their collective imagination amplified through the quantum network. The AR game became real on a scale no one thought possible. Giant, glowing dream mecca rose from the cities, shimmering force fields of pure thought enveloped continents, and at the center of it all stood a colossal avatar of Zoe, her dream form blazing with the combined will of humanity. The battle that ensued was beyond description. Dreams and nightmares collided on a planetary scale. Every human myth, every flight of fancy, every wild imagination was brought to bear against the encroaching void. From New Terra Station, Zoe directed the flow of dream energy, her own mind linked to millions. "Push them back," she cried, her voice echoing in the minds of every player. "Your dreams are real. Your imagination is unstoppable." Slowly, impossibly, the tide began to turn. The Void Lords, for all their cosmic horror, found themselves overwhelmed by the sheer creative force of millions of dreaming minds. Bit by bit, they were driven back, their dark essence unraveling under the onslaught of pure imagination. With a final, reality-shaking explosion of mental energy, the Void Lords were banished. The swirling vortex collapsed in on itself, leaving behind nothing but a faint shimmer in the upper atmosphere, a new layer of quantum-stabilized protection around the entire planet. As the dreamers of Earth awoke, confused but exhilarated, Zoe slumped in her chair on New Terra Station's bridge. She was exhausted beyond belief, but a smile played on her lips. "You did it, Captain," Selara said softly, her bioluminescence pulsing with admiration. "You turned a planet full of dreamers into the ultimate weapon against the void." Zoe shook her head. "We did it. All of us, human, luminary, and every species that lent its strength." She gazed out at the stars, a new sense of wonder filling her. "And this is just the beginning. Imagine what we could accomplish if we taught the entire galaxy to dream like this." As reports flooded in from Earth, tales of shared dreams, of newfound psychic abilities, of a global sense of unity unlike anything in human history, Zoe knew that the universe would never be the same. The simple act of dreaming had unlocked humanity's true potential, and the cosmos itself was their new frontier. "Well, Selara," Zoe said with a grin, ready to teach the galaxy how to dream. The alien's antennae quivered with excitement. "Captain, I believe this is the beginning of the most extraordinary adventure the universe has ever known." As New Terra Station began preparations for a new wave of galactic diplomacy and dream training, Zoe couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Who would have thought that humanity's greatest weapon against cosmic horror would be a good night's sleep and an overactive imagination? The Void Devourers had awakened a sleeping giant, and the dream of a united, creative cosmos was just beginning to unfold. The viral dreamscape revolution. As the dust settled from Earth's miraculous defense against the Void Lords, Captain Zoe Chen found herself at the center of a galactic media storm. The quantum-linked battle had been inadvertently broadcast across the cosmos, turning Zoe and the entire human race into overnight sensations. Earthlings, the universe's ultimate dreamers, scrolled across alien news feeds. Human sleep, the next superpower, blared others. Zoe's inbox was flooded with interview requests from every corner of the galaxy. But amid the frenzy, a new challenge emerged. Alien races everywhere were clamoring to learn the human secret of dream combat. Some saw it as the ultimate weapon, others as a path to enlightenment. The galaxy was gripped by dream fever. "We've got a problem," Commander Raj announced, bursting into Zoe's office. "Look at this." He pulled up a holographic display showing various alien worlds. On each, beings of all shapes and sizes were attempting to mimic human sleep poses. Some had even constructed crude replicas of beds and pillows, despite their physiology being completely unsuited for such things. "Oh no," Zoe groaned, watching a gelatinous blob alien awkwardly try to lie flat. "This is the #Void challenge all over again, but on a galactic scale." Selara, who had been monitoring quantum fluctuations, chimed in. "It's worse than that, Captain. These untrained alien minds are creating chaotic ripples in the dreamscape. If this continues, they could accidentally tear open new rifts for the Void Devourers to exploit." Zoe paced the room, her mind racing. They needed a way to channel this galactic enthusiasm safely, to teach proper dreaming techniques without risking cosmic catastrophe. Suddenly, she snapped her fingers. "I've got it. We're going to create the universe's first intergalactic reality show. So you think you can dream?" The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Zoe and her team worked around the clock, collaborating with alien producers, quantum physicists, and even the Dreamweaver itself to create a show unlike any other. The premise was simple yet revolutionary. Contestants from across the galaxy would come to a specially constructed Dream Dome on New Terra Station. There, under the guidance of human dream masters and alien mental adepts, they would compete in a series of increasingly complex dream challenges. The twist: the entire show would be broadcast directly into the minds of viewers across the cosmos, allowing them to experience the dreams firsthand in a safe, controlled manner. "It's educational, it's entertaining, and it just might save the universe," Zoe explained to a skeptical Admiral Zao. "Plus, think of the diplomatic goodwill this will generate." The premiere of So You Think You Can Dream was a galactic sensation. Trillions of beings tuned in, their minds linking through a vast quantum network to witness the spectacle. The challenges pushed the boundaries of imagination and reality. A hive mind synchronization sprint, where contestants had to align the dreams of their entire species in perfect harmony. The paradox puzzle, requiring dreamers to construct and navigate impossible Escher-like landscapes. The emotion eloquence contest, particularly challenging for logic-based species, where contestants have to convey complex feelings through abstract dreamscapes. Zoe watched from the control room, equal parts nervous and exhilarated. "It's working," she breathed, observing the quantum readings. The controlled dreaming is actually stabilizing the galactic dreamscape. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. During the Nightmare Transmutation Challenge, a Zolblaxian contestant accidentally manifested a terror from their species' collective unconscious. The horrifying dream entity threatened to break free into reality. Acting on instinct, Zoe dove into the shared dreamscape. In front of trillions of viewers, she faced down the nightmarish creation. "This is our dream," she shouted, her voice echoing across the cosmos. "We decide what's real." Using techniques she'd learned from the Dreamweaver, Zoe began to reshape the nightmare. She called out to the audience, her words resonating in the mind of every viewer. "Don't fight it. Dream with me. Together, we can turn fear into hope." It was a breathtaking display of collective imagination. Trillions of minds joined with Zoe, their combined creativity transforming the nightmare into a breathtaking work of cosmic art. A new constellation was born in that moment, visible from thousands of worlds, a lasting monument to the power of shared dreams. As the episode ended, the quantum network hummed with unprecedented levels of galactic unity. Species that had been on the brink of war found common ground in the shared dreamscape. Ancient enemies discovered empathy by walking in each other's dreams. "Captain," Zalara said, her bioluminescence pulsing with awe, "I believe you've just initiated the next phase of cosmic evolution." Zoe smiled, watching the aftermath unfold on screens, showing worlds across the galaxy. Alien beings everywhere were excitedly discussing the show, sharing their own dreams, and reaching out to connect with other species. "You know," Zoe mused, "when I was a kid, I dreamed of bringing the galaxy together. I just never imagined it would be quite so literal." As the team prepared for the next episode, reports came in of spontaneous dream links forming between worlds. The boundaries between species were blurring in the most beautiful way imaginable. The Void Devourers, it seemed, had inadvertently triggered a cosmic awakening. In teaching the galaxy to dream, humanity had unlocked the true power of a united, imaginative universe. "Well, folks," Zoe addressed her crew, a twinkle in her eye, "looks like we've got a big season ahead of us. Let's show the cosmos what dreams are really made of." As New Terra Station buzzed with preparations for the next episode, Zoe couldn't help but feel a sense of infinite possibility. The greatest adventure in the history of consciousness was just beginning, and humanity was leading the charge, one dream at a time. Little did they know, somewhere in the depths of the void, ancient entities stirred, both fascinated and terrified by this new development. The dream wars were far from over, but the universe had never been more ready to face them. The main dream singularity. As So You Think You Can Dream, rocketed to become the most watched show in galactic history, an unexpected phenomenon began to sweep across the cosmos. Memes, those bite-sized packets of cultural information, had transcended their earthly origins and gone interstellar. Captain Zhou Chen stared in disbelief at the holographic displays flooding the new Terra Station's command center. Aliens of all species were creating and sharing dream memes at an unprecedented rate. These weren't just images or videos, but fully immersive, bite-sized dream experiences that could be instantly shared across the quantum network. "It's a meme dream singularity," Dr. Elara Voss exclaimed, her wild hair crackling with excitement. "The rate of memetic evolution is off the charts." Cellara's bioluminescence pulsed rapidly as she processed the data. "Captain, this could be either our greatest weapon against the void or our downfall. The meme dreams are reshaping the quantum dreamscape faster than we can monitor." Zoe watched as a particularly viral meme dream swept across the screens. It showed a cartoonish version of herself surfing on a wave of multicolored brainwaves, with the caption "Hang 10 on the cosmic consciousness." Trillions of beings across the galaxy were experiencing this micro-dream, each adding their own twist to it. "We need to harness this," Zoe said, her mind racing. "If we can guide the evolution of these meme dreams, we might be able to create a self-sustaining defense against the void devourers." What followed was the most audacious experiment in memetic engineering the universe had ever seen. Zoe and her team worked tirelessly, collaborating with meme lords from 1,000 worlds to craft the ultimate viral dream defense. They called it Project Dreamcatcher. The concept was brilliantly simple: create a meme dream so compelling, so universally resonant, that it would spread to every corner of the cosmos. This master meme would carry within it the knowledge and techniques needed to resist void incursions, all packaged in an irresistibly shareable format. "Think of it like a psychic vaccine," so explained to the Galactic Council. One dream to protect them all. The creation of the ultimate meme dream was a sight to behold. Meme artisans from Earth worked alongside telepathic gas giants from the Andromeda Galaxy. Quantum comedians collaborated with interdimensional influencers. Even the Dreamweaver itself contributed, weaving strands of cosmic wisdom into the memetic structure. Finally, after weeks of tireless effort, it was ready. The team gathered in the Dream Dome, ready to release their creation into the wild. "Here goes everything," Zoe said, taking a deep breath. "Launch the meme." The moment the dream was released, it exploded across the quantum network with the force of 1,000 supernovas. Beings across the universe found themselves irresistibly drawn into a micro-dream experience like no other. They were standing on an infinite plane of shifting colors. A cartoonish version of Zoe floated before them, wearing a cape made of twinkling stars. "Welcome to your mind," Dream Zoe proclaimed, "ready to power up your psychic defenses." What followed was a rapid-fire series of dream challenges, each more bizarre and entertaining than the last. Participants learned to sculpt psychic shields out of quantum foam, to weaponize dad jokes against cosmic horrors, and to weave mental firewalls from strands of pure imagination. All of this was packaged in a format so irresistibly fun and shareable that it spread faster than any meme in history. Planets that had never made contact with Earth were suddenly blazing with meme dream fever. But just as Project Dreamcatcher reached its apex, a new threat emerged. The Void Devourers, sensing the shift in the cosmic dreamscape, launched a massive counterattack. They unleashed a wave of void memes, nightmarish anti-dreams designed to corrupt and unravel the fabric of imagination itself. Zoe watched in horror as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Entire civilizations were falling into catatonic states, their minds overwhelmed by the void memes. The psychic backlash was so severe that it caused gravitational anomalies, making stars flicker and planets shudder in their orbits. "This is bad," Zelara said, her usual calm shattered. "The void memes are unraveling the quantum dreamscape. If this continues, it could tear reality apart." Zoe knew they needed a miracle. She closed her eyes, reaching out through the quantum network to touch the minds of every being connected to Project Dreamcatcher. "My fellow dreamers," she projected, her thoughts echoing across the cosmos. "The time has come for the greatest collab in universal history." What followed was a feat of collective imagination that would be remembered for eons. Trillions of minds joined together, combining their mean dreams into a single monumental creation. It was a psychic tapestry of such complexity and beauty that it defied description in any known language. This ultimate meme, this dream of dreams, swept across the universe like a tidal wave of pure creativity. Where it touched the void memes, they dissolved like shadows at dawn. Civilizations awakened from their nightmares, their minds fortified and expanded by the experience. The void devourers reeled, overwhelmed by the sheer imaginative force arrayed against them. In a final, desperate gambit, they attempted to manifest physically in the heart of New Terra Station. But Zoe was ready, as the air itself seemed to tear open, revealing a writhing mass of cosmic horror. She stepped forward. Her eyes blazed with the combined will of a trillion dreamers as she pointed dramatically at the void abomination. "By the power of dank memes and wholesome dreams," Zoe declared, her voice echoing with the strength of countless worlds, "I declare this universe a no-void zone." The absurdity and power of that statement, backed by the collective imagination of the cosmos, hit the void devourers like a supernova of pure meme energy. They unraveled, their very essence transmuted into a burst of creative potential that seeded 1,000 new stars. As the quantum dust settled, Zoe found herself floating in a sea of mem dreams, each one a window into the imagination of a different species. She laughed, the sound rippling across the dreamscape and bringing joy to countless worlds. Zelara's consciousness brushed against hers, the alien's thoughts tinged with awe. "Captain, I believe you've just won the galaxy's greatest meme war." Zoe grinned, her mind expanding to encompass the vastness of this new, dream-powered cosmos. "Zelara, my friend, I think we've done more than that. We've turned the entire universe into one giant, lucid dream." As New Terra Station buzzed with the energy of 1,000,000,000,000 linked minds, all celebrating their shared victory, Zoe couldn't help but marvel at the journey that had brought them here. From a simple nightly ritual to the architects of a new cosmic order, humanity had truly awakened to its full potential. "Well, folks," Zoe addressed the countless beings tuned into her thoughts, "looks like the real dream was the friends we memed along the way. Now, who's ready for Season 2 of So You Think You Can Dream? Meme Dream Extreme." The universe pulsed with excitement, a new age of creation and connection dawning across the stars. And at the heart of it all was a human woman who had taught the cosmos how to dream and meme its way to a brighter future.